They monitor and imitate criminals. That's why they got all the tattoos and the pants hanging off and the do-rags. Rap is all about me, me, me. I'm tough. I'm a bad man, O'Reilly. I got attitude.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Freestyle Friday number 2. If you watched number 1, thank you. I love you. This episode, we're going to be talking about a very important topic, central to all of humanity, and that topic, of course, is hip hop destroying civilization? Now, full disclosure, I do not think that it is, but I think it's a conversation that's happening and has been happening for a long time, really, and so I want to tell you why I don't think that it is. It's really two questions. One side of the question is whether hip hop is good, like qualitatively good. Like, is it above average, average, or below average musically? Some people have even asked the question, is rap music? And I don't feel qualified to answer that question because I'm not a musician. But there's a guy by the name of 12 Tone who is a student of music theory, and he has a video on it. And there's a bunch of other people who've made videos about it. So if that's the part you're interested in, I would encourage you to watch those guys. The other side of the question is hip hop morally good? Is it right? Is it wrong? Is it something in between? And that's really what I want to focus on in this video. So the first thing that I would say is that genre does not have morality. Genre has no morality. Voices have morality, and so within hip hop, you can't just throw a blanket over the whole thing. For example, the first rap song I heard that I knew was rap was a song called 116 or 116 by a guy named Trip Lee. And the entire song was basically about Romans 116. It was a Christian rap song, but it was really good qualitatively. And I fell in love with the metaphor of it, and I'd been writing some poetry at the time, and so I saw where the two, fit, and I kind of went down this rabbit hole and found, Kendrick Lamar, and found J. Cole, and found Lil Wayne. And Lil Wayne, of course, introduces you to what I would call popular rap, like the rappers everyone knows. So like Lil Yachty, even Post Malone, like people like that, and the themes that they have. The part that people criticize a lot when it comes to the morality of rap is the lyrics. But the problem with that is that the lyrics, the words, the message, they differ from artist to artist. So Lecrae has different lyrics and different messages than Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole and Lil Wayne and Lil Yachty, and Lil Peep and all of those people. So you can't just throw a blanket over it and say that all of that is good or all of that is bad. You have to analyze individual voices. And even when you analyze individual voices for morality, the problem now becomes that it's hard to be objective. So let's say I was from Cleveland and I heard some Machine Gun Kelly and heard the way he talks about Cleveland since he's from Cleveland. I would probably brush all of the bad stuff about him to the background because I connect with him on this level. We both love Cleveland, and that's just one example, right? If someone struggles with depression or anxiety, they're really going to connect with X, and they're going to brush away all of the allegations against him, not just allegations, but things he's been charged with, because they're like, this guy gets me. And really to illustrate the diversity of voices in hip hop, like Lecrae is a Christian rapper, for example. Kendrick and J. Cole, I would say Kendrick is like the brain of hip hop. Like he's very intellectual and academic in his rhyme, and J. Cole is like the heart. You can't compare them to Lecrae. They're very different. And then X, like the guy I just mentioned, X's music is devastatingly sad. Like heartbreaking, gut-wrenchingly sad. You can't listen to X's music for like an hour without shedding at least one tear. Like, I guarantee it. My favorite song by him is a song called "Let's Pretend We're Numb." And he's just embracing emotion and embracing feeling, and especially the feeling of sadness. Sadness is almost it's almost too weak for the feeling that X is able to conjure up in his music. You can't compare X's music to like a hype rapper like a Two Chains, you know. So I think you have to judge individual voices for morality one by one. I don't think you can judge the entire genre. I think genre has no morality. And then on the subject of morality, I think another point I would make is that morality sort of changes. I mean, it doesn't change, but cultural norms around morality change. So, for example, the last century, any of you that are, I mean, you're probably not watching my video if you are, but any of you that are, that were present in the last century, you might remember the genre known as rock and roll, right? And it sort of defined the last century. It was sort of taboo, but yes, yet it really shaped even politics and foreign policy in the last century. Many of the things that were considered wrong in the last century were part of rock and roll culture. You know, like tattoos, women being allowed to wear pants, the sort of sexual freedom and sexuality that we believe in the 21st century were products of rock and roll, and they were considered fringe, they were considered like ruffian, they were considered all of these things, and now they're just normal. And so my intuition is that hip hop is the rock and roll of the 21st century, and that in this first half of the 21st century, there are a lot of things that are part of hip hop that are considered, you know, wrong, you know, that are not accepted in culture. But that in the second half of the 21st century, rap will really shape cultural norms. You and I, if we're around, might not remember that such things were once not okay or not allowed, and our kids won't remember, and our grandkids won't even know. But that's how things work. I think kids always rebel against their parents at the individual level and at the collective level, and cultures rebel against their cultural parents. And so, especially in Western culture, the future tends to be more relaxed morally than the present or the past. Until I think eventually you get so relaxed that you sort of snap back to moral strictness. But I don't think we're anywhere close to that point yet. And so I think in the second half of the 21st century, a lot of the things that are in hip hop now that are sort of slammed by people, those same people's kids and grandkids will consider those things just normal. And so I think that's part of why I'm very wary to condemn, unless it's right or wrong according to my religion and my beliefs. I'm very hesitant to condemn anything else that's just a cultural norm as right or wrong, because I think those things are going to change. And anyone who's alive in the second, when those things change in the second half of the 21st century, will be forced to change with it, or become, you know, sort of obsolete. So those are my thoughts. Comment, you know, give some feedback. Let me know, do you agree? Do you not agree? Why do you agree? Why do you not agree? What kind of stuff do you want to see in Freestyle Friday? Most of all, thank you so much for watching. I'm so grateful. Hope you have a great day. Bye.